Now to a GMA Health Alert. New research about breast cancer and how sleep and the time you wake up could possibly affect your risk. Dr. Jennifer Ashton is here with us. And I'm going to start with a question, Dr. Jen, for the audience. How many people here would consider themselves morning people? Okay, if you're here, probably, right? If you're watching GMA.
Finally, some good news for the people who work on this show.
Exactly. Thankfully, we have you here with us, and I've become a morning person, I think, just because out of necessity, given my job. But tell us a little bit about what this breast cancer and sleep study means for morning people and those who aren't.
Well, this was an incredibly interesting study, Amy, because first of all, you hear us say all the time, we have to be careful when we hear data or new headlines that just are based on association. This study actually looked for an observation and association and then tried to prove causality, cause and effect. So let me tell you what they did. They looked at people's, we call it chronotype. So I had never heard that term before, really, but it's whether you describe yourself as a morning person or an evening person. It didn't cite hours with that. Then it identified how many went on to develop breast cancer, and then it did genetic analysis on those people. That's where they tried to prove cause and effect. And what they showed was actually a protective effect amongst people who described themselves as morning people. They had a lower risk of going on to develop breast cancer. Now, here are my caveats with this. When we hear a study like this or a headline, we only hear one outcome. As a doctor, as a person, we have to think holistically, not just by body parts. So while it might be protective against breast cancer to be a morning person, maybe we'll find that it's bad against another outcome. So again, you have to take this with a little bit of a grain of salt.
Also, I'm just confused because if given left to my own devices, I would be a night person for sure. But I don't know.
I've heard that about you.
But this job just makes me keep waking up early. This also might be good for me, Jen. I like it. Researchers also found, this is interesting, you say this isn't necessarily new, that sleeping more than 8 hours actually isn't good for you as well. It could lead to a higher risk of breast cancer.
And that was another finding, is that if you slept more than about 7 or 8 hours on average a night, those people had an associated increased risk of developing breast cancer. So when I say it's not new, it's because we have known for a while, especially in the world of sleep medicine, that too much is not good. More is not better when it comes to sleep. So that sweet spot is really about 7 to 9 hours a night for most people, for most health outcomes. If you're saying, oh, I get 11 hours a night, that's not great, because we have to remember what happens when we sleep. Circadian rhythms get involved, metabolism, hormones, inflammation, they're all very kind of delicately balanced on our sleep.
And so you say 7 to 9 hours is optimal for health, for most. Yeah. What other sleep habits should we be looking at to decrease our risks?
You know, Amy, I think you've heard me say this before. Sleep has a massive PR problem in this country. We look at it like a luxury. It is a medical necessity. We need to prioritize it. And in order to do that, you have to have a consistent bedtime and wake up time. You can't just do one thing during the week and another thing on the weekends. And that exactly. And that environment, and I cannot overstate this, should be cold, dark, and quiet. And if you do those things, I promise you, you will feel better after a certain amount of time. This is really the mainstay of our health foundation, along with nutrition and fitness.
Yeah, we got to.
Let's go right back to bed.
All right. I like that. All right, off the gym. Thanks, Dr. Jen.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.